Yeah, I thought I'd point the few viewers I have to, or subscribers or whatever, to this article in the Washington Post that highlighted the hard work that local journalists did to prove that the Gerson Fuentes rape case was not a hoax. And it mentions all the common sense reasons why it was hard for some of these dipshits to validate the story or get confirmation of the story because of privacy issues, because of an ongoing investigation, the age of the victim, and so on and so forth, the nature of the crime, and, of course, the medical restrictions. I mean, that's all common sense. And anybody with half a brain knows, of course, especially if 10-year-olds girls hit puberty, they're going to be 10-year-old girls get raped a lot. Typically in families, too often, let's put it that way. They get raped too often. And get raped by definition. But if they've hit puberty, yeah, they can get pregnant. And this one was actually, in the Ohio case, the girl was actually 9 years old when she was raped and got pregnant. And there have even been a couple of cases where girls didn't even start their first period and got pregnant, which is really strange. But that has happened in a couple of cases, at least a couple of them. But how the hell it could even be a hoax? Just strange credulity. But anyway, this writer, and this is the Washington Post, which one of their columnists was one of the ones who started the idea that, well, he couldn't confirm it, he couldn't get more than one source, or there was more, not that he couldn't, but that more than one source wasn't cited by the original reporters, and so therefore the credibility was in doubt, which was bullshit, and they explained why. And it also points to the problems with newspapers these days, that there are fewer newspapers and there's a lot less local news and a lot fewer local reporters. And these were all local reporters. I think these are the pictures of the reporters. Yeah, Indianapolis Star, and also the Columbus Dispatch. So they did a bang-up job on it. And yeah, it was true. So anyway, I thought I'd point to this, how they worked diligently to make sure that it was not just a rumor or a hoax or anything, that it was actually true. But common sense would tell you, yeah, it does happen. I mean, I did a simple Google search, and you look on Wikipedia, and there's a whole list of cases of 10-year-old girls giving birth, not counting girls who got pregnant and had abortions, but just those that gave birth. And there's a whole slew of them. So that was just, it was, calling it fabricating was garbage. And then, along those lines, our favorite Supreme Court justice, and he has a beard now. I guess he's trying to hide his identification in public. But he's just an arrogant son of a bitch. Old Sam Alito. He just further ruined the court's already shaky reputation. And it started getting that way in the late 90s with that idiotic Paula Jones case, that she was allowed to pursue a civil case against a sitting president. Of course, if Clinton had been a Republican, first of all, this wouldn't even have been a story to begin with, because it wouldn't even have been made up and done, but it would never have gone to trial. I mean, or gone, not to trial, but to the USSC. So that was the first crack that the Federalist Society hacks were starting to use the High Court as a tool for partisan politics. And then, of course, we had the infamous Gore versus Clinton. And then we had Citizens United. That was another lowlight that allowed billionaires to buy elections. And then, of course, the Dobbs ruling. And this guy is just so smug about it. He just thinks that he's on the right side of this. And it's the way to solve this issue is to expand the court to 13 justices, one for each circuit court. And expand the court every time there's a new circuit court that needs to come about. But anyway, he was running around. Old Sam Alito, a couple of weeks ago, or a week ago or so, went to Rome. What the hell was he doing going to Rome, attending a religious liberty summit? What in the hell is a public official doing, especially a Supreme Court official doing, going to a religious liberty summit? That should be unethical right there. That's unethical. You're supposed to be impartial, not wear your damn partisanship on your sleeve like that. But websites like the Daily Mail plastered this meeting because he made some cracks about Prince Harry. And of course, Prince Harry's a real easy target, because he isn't, I think he's a good guy, but he isn't the brightest bulb on the chandelier. And of course, the tabloids just run with the Prince Harry aspect of the remarks. But it sounds like European leaders all across the political spectrum just think this ruling is just an absolute disaster, which it is. I'll read this from Aldernet. A Morning Consult poll focusing on 5 European countries found that innate favorability of the U.S. had gone down to only 11% in early July, when Germany, the UK, Italy, France, and Spain are combined. The Dobbs ruling and the massacre at Uvalde, Texas, on May 24th were cited as key factors. Before those events, the U.S. enjoyed net favorability of around 25% in those countries, which that isn't very good anyway. But when the U.S. Supreme Court Justice Sam Alito attended the Religious Liberty Summit in Rome in late July, he made it clear that he couldn't care less what European officials thought of him. Alito gave the keynote address at the event's gala dinner on Thursday, July 21st, and he had a mocking, dismissive tone when discussing the reactions of non-U.S. officials to the Dobbs ruling. Just an arrogant son of a bitch. Alito told the crowd, "I had the honor this term of writing, I think, the only Supreme Court decision in the history of that institution that has been lambasted by a whole string of foreign leaders who felt perfectly fine commenting on American law. And you feel that you're perfectly fine making political statements at a religious liberty meeting. What the hell, you stupid ass?" One of these was Boris Johnson, but he paid the price. And Boris Johnson thought the decision was wrong-headed. But he just mocked everybody. He mocked all kinds of people. But he's a goddamn corrupt son of a bitch. And he shouldn't even be on the high court. But anyway, I'll put this on here, but he's probably the least liked person in the United States right now. So now the mystery is, who the hell leaked the decision? So some have thought Clarence Thomas's wife, Ginny, was the one who leaked it, that draft. Some have said Alito himself leaked that draft. But others say, and I think, old John Roberts did it. I think he did it. But the Chief Justice. But others, and then still others think some clerk did it, but I don't think it is. I think it was somebody way up the chain who did it. But we'll probably never know that thing. So anyway, this guy the Supreme Court was already in the shitter, and he's really careened it off from the shitter into the ditch and over the cliff. Just ruined its reputation. And now they're just a bunch of partisan hacks, like we always thought, because that's what the Federalist Society's purpose is just to rig the courts, basically to favor big corporations run by the likes of Charles Koch and other sociopathic billionaires. So anyway, that's all I have to say about that today.